Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Killer J. Y'all can call me KJ. And welcome back to another video. And as you guys know, I am your spooky poppy. I love horror. I love making horror content. I love playing horror video games. I love watching horror movies. One of my favorite type of genre of like horror is the slasher horror films. You know, I'm kind of fucked up and messed up like that. And I can honestly say over the last 4 years have been one of the best years for horror and horror movies. And 2024 is a very hype year when it comes to horror. There's a couple sequels that are coming out. There's a couple new movies that are coming out, indie and Hollywood mainstream horror movies that are coming out that are very popular and then gaining a lot of popularity. To name a few, we have Maxine that's supposed to come out in about a week from now. We have Longlegs that's supposed to come out later this month as of filming this, and it's like one of the most anticipated horror films of the whole year. It's starring Nicolas Cage. It's a film that's used the internet and its promotion and its marketing and that whole, going viral on TikTok, becoming a legend on TikTok as its marketing standpoint. It's literally become as popular before even releasing like a full trailer because of how they've handled the marketing, how much they involve social media into the marketing. We have one of my personal favorites that's coming out this year as well. We have Terrifier 3, which is to me one of the best modern like slasher films that we've had of this generation other than Hatchet. And supposedly the third one is going to be like a Christmas themed one, and it's going to have like the most like disgusting like killing scene ever. Even the actor that played the killer like was almost throwing up during it. So I'm very excited because they did go very far when it came to the second one, and I really want to see the third one. I want to see how far they can push it. Today we're going to be talking about a movie that was very hyped, that is also by Shudder, that is also like a little more indie, and it made its round through the film festival, and it had a lot of hype coming out because of all the rumors of people who have talked about the film and all the scenes and the idea of the actual film. And that movie is called In a Violent Nature. Before we start off, guys, I do have to plug myself in this video some point, so make sure you follow me on social media. All the links are down in the description below. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. I actually did my initial reaction of this film on Twitch, and this is basically just like a more scripted like rundown version of that. So if you guys want to see like my initial reactions or chat with me, talk to me, and just partake in this crazy shit that I have going on when it comes to content, make sure you follow me on Twitch as well. I'm live there from Sunday all the way up to Thursdays.
Check my moves, honey.
Ah, wait, what the fuck's going on here? Oh, get it, boy, get it. Man, I hyped this movie up so much when it first like released, like the trailer, and when they talked for the first time about the concept of it, being through the eyes of the actual killer. I was so excited for the actual film when they got announced that I just made like a whole campaign on trying to watch it, and then I watched it, and that's why we're here today. So I'm not gonna sit here and break down the movie scene by scene like I do with my other videos, because obviously the movie's relatively new and I don't want to cause like a fuzz when it comes to YouTube, and I don't want to give that many spoilers. I want people to actually see it for themselves and create their own opinion. So if you've seen or haven't seen the film, I suggest you go see it, with a fresh start, or for the first time, then come back to this video and you do all that before you go down and comment some stupid bullshit like you don't understand. And another reason is because there's not that much to talk about. So spoiler alert, because I am going to be talking about certain moments in the film because I have to in order to give my opinion, but I'm going to try to be as vague and as detailed as possible, if you can understand what I'm saying. So In a Violent Nature is a slasher film with a very simple, unique idea. It's a slasher film from the perspective of the actual killer. We don't get to see the main cast. We don't get to see dialogue. We don't get to see that much acting from the main cast. We get to follow from the beginning to the end of the film the serial killer, the main killer. And the idea sounds beautiful on paper, and it looks even better on a stream actually made. But just like things that look good and sound good on paper, if you don't execute them right, if you don't do them right, you just end up with a like kind of film. Because let me give you like a little bit of a setup. Because the movie is literally Friday the 13th with a copyright-free coating of paint over it. Basically, a group of campers, they come across this shack in the woods. There's a stick on the ground with a certain necklace on it. They remove the necklace, and that basically wakes up our killer, that in this case is called Johnny instead of Jason. And this is literally how the movie starts. That's how the movie starts. It's simple, it's straight to the point, and the idea is unique. But with that simplicity comes my major criticism of the film. For example, one of the biggest criticisms the movie gets online is the fact that there's a lot of walking in this film. And let me get this straight. There's a lot of walking in this film. It's basically Johnny going from point A to point B, killing point A from point B. And most of this movie is literally just this still camera following Johnny like from behind. And honestly, I don't find the excessive walking like scenes like annoying, or I don't criticize them. I don't find them bad in any way. I find them very necessary for the concept of the actual film. Because let's be real, how do you think that Jason Voorhees gets around in Friday the 13th? Like, he doesn't just teleport like he does in the older films. He doesn't like get in his car or runs through the woods. He basically just probably walks the whole woods and knows the whole area and knows the ins and outs of the trails and shit like that, and he's basically walking 90% of the fucking time. And honestly, I don't find the walking as something annoying. I actually feel like it gives the movie like a lot of good like tension, because it makes you kind of wonder, like, what is Johnny gonna come across? Like, is he gonna come across like an innocent bystander? Is he just gonna come across a dog? Is he gonna come across a kid? Like, there's some scene in the film where you see the next victim very far away and Johnny's just walking towards them, and it does a good job in building like tension within the confines of the actual like gimmick of the film. And like I said, is not one of my major criticisms that there's so much walking in the film. I actually do enjoy it and I actually do like it. But there's one thing within these things that just drives me the fuck crazy. Like, it just completely takes me out, and is that weird editing YouTube like slight rough cut that they do, and they don't even do it like properly. Because we'll see Johnny like walking towards the house, and then it will just do like a rough cut like this, and it will just be Johnny just a little bit closer to the house. It wouldn't even be like a separate scene, and it's the same angle of the shot, so it looks like a poorly or like a very good edited YouTube video. If you think about it, it feels like someone's doing commentary and they're trying to cut the walking scenes short, and I feel like they just took an extra long like take of this and just did some cuts in between, which again throws me off, because they could at least add a little bit of B-roll. Like, instead of cutting straight to the next like 30 seconds, they would do a zoom in on his shoe, do a zoom in on his hand, and then cut to the next scene. But those little rough cuts of him just walking and like kind of walking a little bit closer completely like took me off of these scenes. They were good, but once I started seeing that, it just threw me off. And I like the walking. It makes me feel like I'm actually following this beast of a monster and his get ready with me like daily routine. And it's kind of fun to see how he reacts to certain things, because not all the walking scenes are just him walking. There's certain things that happen within it. And another criticism that I have with the film, and this is going to be like a big one because the whole marketing of the film was based on this, the kills, man. The kills are not that great. I know the yoga scene is there, and that's the most talked about scene in the whole movie, and it is as brutal as people are making it seem. And to be honest, if you have some time, sit down and actually watch it just for the scene. But for a movie that got marketed as being an extremely violent movie with a lot of creative kills, it didn't. Other than the yoga scene, the first fucking kill of the film is off screen. And I get it, it's supposed to be more traditional based on how slashers in the beginning are slow paced and you see a lot of off screen deaths, but they tease you. They fucking tease you that it's gonna be off screen. Then they tease you that it's gonna be on screen. And then when it finally fucking happens and we see the scene about to fucking happen, it just roughly cuts to like later in the film. Not even a scream, not even an off-screen kill. Is literally an off-screen kill. Like, you don't see it happening. And again, a little bit annoying for a film that was promoted to be extremely creative. Other than that, there's another off-screen kill. There's a couple of traditional smashing heads, like signature weapon kind of kills. There isn't that many creative actual kills in the film. They're brutal, they're bloody, they have practical effects, and they're impressive. But other than the yoga scene and the wood chipper or the woodcutter scene, there isn't that much context in there. I know it's kind of morbid to say that there isn't that much violence in a movie. It's weird. It's almost like I got hyped up for the kills only to get let down when I actually saw them. But again, it's probably just a personal opinion of mine. I just didn't feel that any other scene rather than the yoga scene was actually impressive. And again, last but not least, one of the biggest criticisms that I actually do have with the film, like, I can get by the editing, I can get by the kills, because the kills are impressive like regardless. They're very good, impressive kills. It's just I was expecting a lot more, and that's more of a personal like opinion of mine. But this I think we can all agree on. And again, major spoilers for this part of the video. Skip ahead if you haven't watched the film, but the actual ending of the film is just bullshit. I read a post on Twitter that said that if they would cut out the last 15 minutes of the film, it would be an okay kind of short masterpiece of a slasher film. And I do kind of agree with that, because I do disagree with the walking criticism of the film. I think the walking was supposed to be part of it and was expected a little bit when it first came out, the trailer and the announcement. I kind of knew there were going to be a lot of walking scenes because, you know, that's his perspective of the killer, you know what I mean? But I 110,000 times agree that the ending of this movie was fucking bullshit. So it's obvious by now that this movie plays off a lot of Friday the 13th like cliches and stuff like that. People get picked out little by little till the killer actually gets revealed in the end, and then a couple survivors like survive, and then we get one or two people at the end, normally one of them being a girl that basically fights the killer and basically takes care of him, or ends up dying with the killer, or ends up dying. But we get that final girl scene in most of the traditional like slasher films, and this is a slasher film. And what pisses me off mostly about it is the fact that we do get an explanation on how to defeat Johnny in the film. It has everything to do with the necklace that the girl's wearing that they took from that site at the beginning of the film, and we do get some dialogue and acting from a lot of the actors and victims from the movie. We get a lot of exposure, and we get a full story told to us of Johnny's origin and how to defeat him. And all that gets basically dumped on and completely deleted with the climax of the film. Because when the film gets to that part till the end, there's like your traditional final girl and your traditional final guy about to do a trap to catch Johnny and to defeat him. And I was very excited because I'm like, cool, we're gonna see the final girl like chase scene fight from the perspective of like Johnny, and we're gonna see how he hides and how he actually tries to get away from the trap, or how he actually gets defeated and how he sees things actually happening from his perspective. But that never happens. We get like this corny ass Tucker versus Dale versus Evil kind of thing where the guy is trying to distract Johnny, and they do it in a form of a jump scare, and the dude gets one-shotted instantly and dies. And the final girl sees this happening in front of her, and all the equipment, all the shit that she's holding, she's like, fuck it, and just drops it, takes off the necklace, just puts it in the ground and just leaves. And it's like, okay, are we gonna get like the final scene? Is Johnny gonna chase the girl, or like what's gonna happen? And we do see the girl running, and this is where I'm like, okay, they should have really cut these last 15 minutes, because we get about 5 minutes of her just running through the woods. And this is kind of cool because you don't know if she's actually running in circles, because you can hear Johnny still killing the guy in the background like every other scene, and there's cuts and she's running, and we switch to the perspective of her with the camera almost like the way Johnny was filmed. But nothing happens. We just cut to the morning. She wakes up, she's like hurt, something's wrong with her leg, and she ends up walking through the woods, finding like a main road, getting picked up by this old lady. And here's where I think the movie actually officially sucked for me, because I thought as I was watching it, like, okay, we don't get the final girl scene, but we're gonna get like a twist. We're probably gonna get like an homage to Friday the 13th and the first movie, where the final girl or the first victim gets picked up by this person that's supposed to be Pamela Voorhees, and then they get taken back to the woods and they get killed. And I honestly thought that was gonna happen. I honestly thought that the old lady that picked up like our main girl after she woke up the next day and they're driving, I thought that she was actually gonna drive her towards Johnny so he can claim like his final victim, and this was Johnny's mother still alive, and this was the whole twist. But no, we get like this stupid ass speech about how the bear, it's normal, sometimes is violent because they want to be violent, not because they want to eat, just because they want to protect their land. And it's basically a metaphor on, you guys fucked up, you went to an area you weren't supposed to, you did some fucked up shit, and now all of y'all dead and you're paying for it. And that's basically where it ends. We don't get another shot of Johnny, we don't get anything else, we just get the same area where she dropped all the shit and Johnny's necklace is not there, and the credits roll. That's it. I get they were supposed to represent like, okay, like you guys took my necklace, now I have my necklace back, I can go rest, but they leave it so vague that it just it pisses me off, to be honest. They could have just done the whole twist ending with the girl or the woman being Johnny's mom, and that would have been great. And I get it. I get that Johnny's supposed to be our main character, and we're supposed to get an ending that's suited to the main character. In this case, Johnny just going back to his home and resting, and to his shack and resting, and just getting his necklace back, and that's it. Because the bad people are supposed to be the campers in this one. If I'm ever gonna watch this film again, is to show someone the yoga scene, and to kind of show something on someone like, hey, look at this cool film that came out like a couple years ago that is from the perspective of the actual killer instead of like Jason, like, and the campers and shit. I don't know. There's talks about making a sequel or making like a POV universe with like a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of like angle, and we're seeing Freddy and stuff like that. But I don't think that's gonna happen with all the criticism that these movies is going through. Honestly, if you have a Shudder subscription, just wait till it comes out and watch it then, because I'm very fucking disappointed. I'm gonna watch it again probably tonight by myself to kind of see if I missed anything, because I know Stacy pointed out some things that I missed, and maybe I'll get a different angle, so maybe I'll film something extra for this video. So if the video ends here, or if I go straight through the outro after this like little cut, like, yeah, the movie fucking sucked. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna head out. Make sure you follow me on social media. All the links are down below. Make sure you watch me while I'm live streaming. I do different things. I punch fans, and I eat different shit, and I talk and play and stuff like that. So make sure you guys follow me over there. Like I always say before I end videos or streams, if you have a goal, something in mind that you want to achieve, like a job interview or you're going on a date, I hope that it comes true. I hope that it comes like positively, extremely, all the words that are ibly and good, and it happens, and you have fun, because everybody deserves a little bit of happiness in this fucked up world. Use your fucking turn signal, guys. I gotta go because I gotta get more Diet Coke, and I gotta call my internet company because it's being a little bit of a bitch and it's not giving me Wi-Fi, and I'm dying. I'm disconnected from the world. Take it easy, guys. Bye.
Hey, Mr. Grumpy Gills. When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't want to know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim.